MTS stands for Momentum Turbo Sliding. To practice it, we're going to be using Black Bull. Just because Black Bull, it has really, really shitty grip, you'll lose grip really easily. And in order to MTS, you need to lose grip and then essentially strafe. And Black Bull is, not only is it good at that, but it's one of the best MTS machines in the game. So the first part of an MTS is just squeeze both the triggers so that the vehicle loses grip. And you need to enter this loss of grip state. Ideally, you only want to press the triggers enough just so that you lose grip. So you wouldn't want to hold it for a long time. You just want to quickly tap it enough for the vehicle. Some vehicles it'll require you to hold it for a little bit longer. But squeeze both trigger buttons to lose grip, and then you're going to want to let go of the A button and move the stick in the direction that you want to turn. And release the opposing shoulder button to that. So basically, right now, the only inputs I'd be making are squeezing the left shoulder button all the way and holding right on the analog stick. So effectively, why this works is because the only forces that are being applied to this vehicle are drag, in-game friction, and strafing. Since the accelerator's off, it doesn't have that slow down from holding the A button. So the only force counteracting drag is strafing, and different vehicles have different strafe strengths. Some are better at strafing, some are worse. So they'll vary with how fast you'll go during an MTS. Black Bull, you can go pretty fast though. So lose grip, and then turn the analog stick. Now, the constant when you're MTSing is that you want to hold, as you're doing the MTS and you're actually sliding, you want to hold the shoulder stick all the way so that you're getting as much speed as you can from the strafe. Now, you don't want to hold the analog stick all the way though. Ideally, you want to be perfectly 90 degrees so that all of the momentum you're getting from the strafe is being put towards the direction of movement. Because you can MTS far, far beyond that and go into a wall like that. So you don't want to hold the analog stick all the way. For some vehicles, you want to hold it almost all the way. Some of them it'll be, with Black Bull, you'd want to hold it not so much all the way. I made a graph that showed it exactly how far by going in emulator and testing that. With Gallon Star, Fat Shark, Black Bull, and Quick Star, how far you want to hold the stick, just to give a feel for it. But basically, it's, as a visual indicator, it's basically 90 degrees with whatever vehicle you're using. Will give you the optimal MTS speed. And now, after you've done the MTS, you want to exit it. And exiting an MTS is secretly one of the hardest things to optimize in the game. Probably the easiest way is to just move the stick over and side attack. You don't want to squeeze the triggers as you do this too. So you can do it back to back. It's called MTS chaining. Not every vehicle can do good side attacks though, so that's not always an option. Alternatively, you can keep holding the strafe button that you're using to MTS, move the stick over, and then hold A once the vehicle is 45 degrees-ish. From this is 90, that's 45. With Fat Shark, 45 was optimal. With Black Bull, I'm not exactly sure. It would probably be somewhat close to that. I'm guessing it would be a little shallower of an angle, like that. The direction that you want to end up in. There's another method of MTS exiting you'll see. Usually it's much better players, because it's not as easy to do. But basically, during the MTS, you just press A, and that'll instantly like cut off the MTS. In whatever direction the vehicle is facing, you'll be moving in that direction. Now, usually that's like, you don't want that to happen. That's a bad idea, because it'll just crash into a wall. We can demonstrate that now, where it's like MTS, press A, crash into a wall. And that'll happen pretty consistently, actually. But essentially you press A, and then you do a quick turn. So you'll be combining like two techniques together here of doing an MTS, exiting it, or like tapping A, cutting it off. I don't know if there's there's a lot of phrases for tricks. I call that like an MTS cancel, since you're just like canceling it instantly, or cut off, whatever. But basically, it's MTS, tap A, quick turn. Now, sometimes this is very, very useful. On the non-side attack record for this level with Fat Shark, you'll see them do it quite a lot on the first lap. That way they essentially the MTS as far as possible, and then they'll hit the boost plate with as much speed as they can. It's really, really tough to do this optimally. Like, if you check out Brave and Rolly's videos on their Sonic Oval times, you'll get a much better idea of what it looks like, because I'm honestly not very good at it. But that's the gist of it. Sometimes for specific turns of a course, you can get like a very like turn-specific method of exiting the MTS, which I have one for double branches on the first turn here on lap 1, where essentially I just let go of the shoulder button and the analog stick and hit A. So, like, I recommend trying out those different methods I mentioned, and then just experimenting whenever you're not getting success with those. Right here, it's like MTS, just let go of the buttons. So essentially I'm using how it's like if you press A, you'll cancel it. And since you're on like a weird slope turn, it ends up like, you know, pushing you in the right direction. You can use that in a few places, but basically those are the main ways of exiting an MTS.